Hey guys, it's Shauna the Rat, and today I wanted to go ahead and update you on a situation that is going on with Bean. So as you can see, she has a bit of a head tilt going on, and that is because she has an inner ear infection. So signs started to appear on Thursday. Bean was seemingly feeling a little under the weather around Thursday afternoon. However, I wasn't completely sure if she was just tired or actually feeling ill. So I gave her some children's Motrin and I decided to check on her a little bit later. However, when I came to see her later, her behavior had improved a lot, but her head had begun to tilt. So at that point I knew we definitely had to go into the vet, and we decided to get an appointment the next day. But in the meantime, I put her on a course of Baytril, Doxy, and also infant Motrin, like I said before. And, well, she's definitely improved a lot since then. We went to the vet the next day, and there's this whole fiasco about me thinking that the first vet, the one that I went to for Bean's surgery, was actually there because we texted her, and it seemed like she said she had an appointment for 9:30, but unfortunately what she meant was 9:30 on Monday, and we just had a bit of a miscommunication going on there, so I didn't end up going to that clinic, or actually we did end up going to that clinic, but she wasn't there, and none of the vets were there on Friday, so turns out that we had to go somewhere else, and the other clinic that is closest to us is the old clinic I used to go to, which mainly specifies in dogs and cats, but they've treated some infections for some of my rats, so I knew they had the right stuff. And I also had high hopes that they would be willing to work with us because unlike respiratory infections, which can sometimes be hidden by the rat when they're at the vets, they can act not lethargic and stuff like that, just because they're prey animals in a new place, so they're trying to hide their symptoms. But in the case of a head tilt, they can't physically hide it, so the vet couldn't just be like, nah, there's nothing going on, which was unfortunately one of the past experiences I had there, where one of my rats had a respiratory infection, and the vet refused to believe me for that, so it was not a great situation. But anyways, like I said, there was no way they could refute the whole physically head tilted thing, and when I went in, we decided to go in for an emergency appointment. So they had us park the car on the outside and they took Bean in. They are a larger clinic, a larger practice, so they weren't allowing people inside with their pets. So we had to wait outside. And when the vet saw Bean, they went ahead and called us so we could speak about treatment options and what was going on. She did give me the option to have Bean x-rayed. However, since Bean was pretty uncomfortable at that moment, she didn't really think it would help very much in diagnosing what was going on. We were pretty sure it was either an inner ear infection or something to do with a tumor, which is the unfortunate one you really don't want to think about, but I've had some bad experiences with tumors causing, and when I say tumors, I mean like brain tumors or ear tumors. They can get tumors everywhere, man, I swear. But if something like that was causing the ear tilt, then we would have to go ahead and just try to reduce its swelling and possibly put her on cabergoline like I've done with some prior rats. But thankfully, ear infections are the more common cause of head tilts, especially since Bean wasn't showing any other symptoms. No problems with food, no confusion, nothing like that. So we were pretty sure it was an ear infection, and I asked her if we could go ahead and start with steroids. Prednisone is what I've used in the past, along with the common antibiotics Baytril and Doxy. However, she wasn't really comfortable starting with a steroid when Bean's immune system was already under attack, pretty clearly, even though prednisone is pretty commonly used for ear infections, but whatever. So we went ahead and just used Metacam, which is also a anti-inflammatory and a pretty strong one. It's not a steroid, but it is also very effective. It's actually what I got when Bean had her surgery, which again has healed up very well. But yeah, we got Metacam. She also gave us Doxy. She didn't want to give us Baytril, but that clinic's so weird about Baytril. They never want to give it to you unless the rat has really bad respiratory signs. So it's a very strange situation there. They just always try to not give it to you. And so I didn't really want to argue about that too much. So when she said no, I decided that I would just go ahead and keep using my own personal stash of Baytril. I do have a personal stash of that at home. Like I said, I did start being on a course of it already, so I just went ahead and kept following that, and I switched over to the vet's Doxy and to Metacam instead of infant Motrin. So yeah, that is pretty much how these last few days have been going. Once we finally got Bean seen and we got her home, that was pretty much that. She's improved a lot. Last night marked her first 24 hours with the head tilt, and she made some really big strides. I'm going to show you a video of her on the first night with the head tilt, and just so you can see how bad that was, and then the second night, and you'll see how much better she looks on the second night. Now, she's clearly not completely back to normal behavior-wise. She's a little bit nervous about stuff. She likes having access to the cage, which is usually something she doesn't care about too much. So that's why she keeps trying to run off, by the way. She actually wants to be in the main cage because I have confined her to a small travel cage inside the main cage. And she was also exhibiting some pica, which is when they eat things that aren't food. She was exhibiting that towards their yesterday's news bedding. But as of today, she is not showing pica anymore, and she has been jumping and climbing a lot better. So I think I'll only keep her separate for one more day, and then I'll go ahead and put her back with the other rats, which she will be very happy about. I'm really glad that she's doing so much better. I was very worried about her having some sort of internal brain tumor, so I'm really glad to see she is responding to just the normal medications, because if it was a tumor, chances are she would not have responded this fast to something that isn't a steroid. So yeah, very glad that she is doing so much better, and I expect her movement and so forth to continue to improve. She might not get rid of the head tilt, like I said, but even if she doesn't get rid of the head tilt, I'm sure she'll adjust to it just fine. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.